Alright, I'm going to try to make my kayak sink proof, or close to it anyway. I've got 1 gallon total of expanding foam. It's the 2 pound per square foot. This will come out to 5 square feet. I have my Ocean Kayak Malibu paddle. It's the same thing as the Old Town Salty. According to the company, there's about 17 cubic feet of air on the inside of this, but that would be way too much weight to fill full of foam. So I'm going to pour the 5 cubic feet of foam up here in the front. Right now I'm pumping my fan down into the hatch and pull the little plug out up in the front here so you can feel the air pumping out through the front, but you got to try to get all the moisture out of the inside. If there's any moisture, the foam doesn't expand as well. So I'll probably lay it a little more flatter. I'm gonna use the funnel here. I washed everything out and then I've got it all sitting in the sun to dry so that it doesn't mess up the foam. And then the funnel fits right in the tip of this plug here. So I'm gonna mix the part A and part B. I'm gonna do 8 cups the first time, half of the gallon kit, and dump it in the front, and then see how much it fills up, and then do the second batch after that. So we'll see how it goes. In the back, I'll show you in the back here, instead of filling this full of foam in back, I've got an exercise ball that I stuffed in here. I did a little video on my iPhone, but since I don't have cloud, I don't know how to get it onto here, so maybe I'll show it on here in a little bit. But anyway, this is the project. So the weather was starting to churn on me, so I decided to move it under my carport. At least I dried out the inside by setting it out in the sun with the fan running on it. So I got this sloped slightly toward the front because it's the front that I'm trying to fill up here, but I don't mind if it runs back a little bit toward the middle some. And I got it level side to side, left to right, so that the foam at least settles straight down. Still trying to figure out whether I'm going to pour a full quart in or do half quarts, but we'll see here. Okay, I didn't record the process of pouring the foam in here because it was a fiasco. First I tried to put a funnel in here, and you know, about half of the liquid fell in here. I could feel it because down here it was all warm, but I got part of the liquid down through this thing, and then once it started foaming, it just filled up my funnel full of foam, and it came busting out through the top. And so 3/4 of the first batch that I mixed just hardened in my hand, it hardened in the bucket. It was a big mess. You can see I spilled it all over the ground over there. It's crazy. So the rest of it that I mixed up small batches in yogurt containers. And let me get the light in here, see if I can get my camera. And so I just tried to dump it down up in the front there. Don't have much room to work here with my camera, but you can see the foam on the sides, and then kind of wrapped up around my depth finder, my fish finder thing there. But it didn't cover it, so that was good. You can see up in there. So it was crazy, but it worked. And then on the back side, I've got this, around here, I've got this yoga ball stuffed in here. Let me pull this out here. I just stuffed the yoga ball in there and filled it up. Seems to work pretty good. But and then all the leftover stuff, when I was mixing it, the containers, I was mixing it in yogurt containers. I just took all my leftover pieces and stuffed them in this bag here. Some of the mix wouldn't be fully hardened on the bottom of the container, so I had to take a knife and cut it off. But once I put my battery back in, I'm charging my battery right now, I'll stuff this back into the hole. I just took it out so that you could see the other foam in the back there. Let me get one more look from back here, just to kind of show you what all the foam looks like back up in there. But anyway, I added about 9 pounds of weight because I probably wasted a pound of the finished formula. I used 1 gallon of a 2-part mix, half gallon of each part, and it was a 2-pound foam. So I got 5 cubic feet total in the gallon mix, but I wasted probably a half a foot of that at least. So I figure I got 4.5 cubic feet of foam in here, which added 9 pounds of weight. So I didn't want to add any more. I found out when I contacted the company that there was a complete total of approximately 30,000 cubic inches of room on the inside, which, if my math is right, is about over 17 cubic feet of space. But I didn't want to fill it so full that, for one, I got my battery in here and my fish finder. Didn't want that full, and it would be hard to fill every ounce of space. Plus, you know, you got the rudder and the control for the dropping the rudder up and down, and you know, you're running wires in here and stuff. So, and I didn't want to add that much weight. If I did all 17 cubic feet, that'd be like 35 pounds more weight. So that's just too much. I even noticed this one 10 pounds heavier, and it was a little more work getting it on top of my car. So anyway, you know, it's got a lot more buoyancy now, and I'm happy with that. But I did take it out the other day, and there was a kind of an uncomfortable chop out in the ocean, man. And I still think I might have to add outriggers, just because I was not willing to head a couple miles out by myself with that just funky chop to the water. It wasn't a big swell or nothing, but I could see hooking a big fish and possibly tipping over. And not that I'm worried about getting it back up right and getting back in it, but just in choppy conditions with waters full of sharks, I just think I'm going to have to add an outrigger still yet. And then just, not that this is part of this video, but I'm just showing you my battery setup for my fish finder. I put a Garmin Striker 4 Plus, I think it's called. Got this little battery here. This is the only thing I could get that shipped to me for cheap. You know, this is like 30 bucks. I'm sure you can get it on the mainland for 15 bucks or something, but it's only a 3 or a 4.5 amp. But I did take this out for 3 hours the other day, 3 hours plus, and according to my voltmeter, the voltage went from 3.5 down to 13, or 13.5 down to 13.09. According to the Striker 4, it went from 12.3 volts down to 11.9. Either way, it was working fine. Had 3 hours of fish finding out of it, and you know, I wasn't sure how long it would last, but I'm sure it could go much more. But I just charge it up every time I go up now. And then I put a piece of wood between here to keep these from touching. But I got this quick disconnect from the auto parts store. That way I don't have to keep disconnecting it from the battery there. And then I had to buy 2 of those, because then in here you buy the set, and I got the other set hooked up in here. I got Velcro in the bottom, and then I had to put some cloth in here because the battery was wobbling back and forth because of the Velcro in the center. Should have put 2 strips of Velcro on each side. And then this battery box is Velcroed down too. Works really good though. I ran the cable up into here, cut it out through the side, put a rubber grommet in there, and then put silicone around it too. But the fish finder's really nice. It really helps to see the depth and the changes in elevation underneath the kayak, and it picks up the fish too, but it's not picking up so much the bottom fish per se. I think you can see them, but not really. Not like you can the fish suspended in the water. But I'm loving the fish finder. I'm comfortable with having more flotation in the kayak, but like I said, I think I'm still gonna add the outriggers to make it a little more stable. Anyway, it's an adventure. Good luck with your own projects.